welcome to this session where I will be teaching you most important Excel functions you need to master for interviews, jobs, or just boosting your Excel skills. If you are ever struggled with Excel test or job assessment, don't worry. By the end of this video, you will be confident in using a VLOOKUP, pivot tables, if functions, conditional formatting, and much more. I will also sharing some common mistakes, pro tips, and real life Excel test simulation. So let's get started. So I have this raw data set with me. First, this thing. Second one is the subject specific, and third one is that product and the price. Okay. We will check first a VLOOKUP function, which is the most commonly used function. All right. So let's begin VLOOKUP, one of the most common function in Excel interviews. What is VLOOKUP? VLOOKUP helps you find a data in a table. Think of it like a searching for a contact in your phone. Okay. You enter a name and it gives you the result. Cool. Now here in the example, we will be using this particular table, right? Finding a employees department. Do that, what we have to do, suppose these are the top two names for me, okay, and I want to identify a department. We know that, because it's the small data set, we will know that, this is the HR and IT. However, when you have a larger data set, that time it's difficult to check a department individually, and it is a time consuming. So that's the reason we use a VLOOKUP function. Good. So let me just use a VLOOKUP over here. I'll say is equal to VLOOKUP. Okay. You can type directly from here, or maybe simply just click here and then click on this option, insert function. Okay. And here you will simply select a VLOOKUP like this and click on this go option, and you will get a VLOOKUP. Just double click and you will get a pop up like this. Usually in the corporates, or maybe MNCs, or maybe wherever you are currently working with, or maybe you are applying for the job, right? They don't prefer this particular option. Okay. Instead, they directly follow this is equal to, and let's say we look up over here. What is the lookup value? This is the lookup value. This is what we are looking out for. So that's the reason we have selected this. And since we have selected this, now they need a table array. Ensure that you are selecting a appropriate range. Okay, like this, because your first value is this. So ensure that your first value should be matched for the respective table. This is the table array, comma, index column. So what type of value we need? Okay, so we need a department, second column, right? So that's the reason we are adding it to, comma. Here it's an approximate match or the exact match. Okay, when you are working with a uh, decimal value, right? That time this true function will really help you. Right now we are not really working with the decimal functions, so that's the reason we will keep this as a exact match. You can also keep a 0 and just close this and hit a enter. And when I do a control D over here, I will get a bob as well. Good. What if I change this to a 3? Okay. And this is the common mistakes we usually do. Enter. I will get a reference error. Now, why I got this reference error? Because the table array we have selected only two. Get a correct result, which is salary. What we have to do? We have to select this particular range, which is 1, 2, 3, and 3 table has been total 3 columns has been selected now. And if I am done with this, I'll simply hit a enter. I'll get a 50,000 rupees over here, and then simply I'll scroll it down. I'll get a 60,000. Let's now move to the another powerful lookup function, which is called index match function. Since we have already covered this VLOOKUP, now it's time to check a index and match. If VLOOKUP is like a phone book, index and match is like a Google search, more flexible and powerful. What is the difference? VLOOKUP has a limitations. It can only search left to right, but index match allows you to search anywhere, right? So I'll just take a one step back once again. Okay, for VLOOKUP, what we have did when we search like this. Okay, so we got this particular bob and we are selecting this particular range, and then only we are getting a value, right? However, when we do index match, you can select any of the value from any of the range, you will get a result, the ultimate goal. So that's the basic difference. Now here, in this particular example, we will definitely use this particular table, okay, which is your product, mouse, and keyboard and price, right? So I'll just do a cut and paste over here. What I want a this 25 to be shown at the bottom. Okay. So basically I want to check a price for the mouse. Okay. To check that, what I have to do, I have to add a formula, simply index. Okay. This is the array for me. So what is the array? Array is this. I'll simply select this, comma, match function. I'll use a match function over here. And what I want a mouse to be shown, I mean, to be searched basically in the entire table. And lookup array will be this. This is the lookup array. Inside this, it will search. And it is the exact match, bracket close, and I'll hit simply enter. There we go. This is the result what I have received. Okay. So if I change this, okay, rupees, I will get an appropriate value. You can see it. Correct? So this is how we have beautifully used a index and match function in MS Excel. We can now look up data from any column, unlike a VLOOKUP. Now it's time to check for the another function which is called if function. Ever needed Excel to make a decision for you? That's what if function does. For example, pass or fail system. So when we say pass and fail system, it's easy to understand if the person is pass or fail, okay, with the help of if function. Okay, do that. What we have to do, simply first take a table over here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just do a basic table over here. And I will just randomly put in numbers over here, 23. Good. What I'll do, I'll just say is equal to if function. This is the if function for me. I will say this, okay, this particular value should be greater than or equal to. If it is greater than or equal to, then what? Greater than equal to what? So basically there are some criteria to be given, right? So 50, if it is less than 50, then it should be a fail. If it is more than 50, then it will be a pass. This is the criteria which I'm putting it right now. Okay, comma, I'll just add a pass over here. Otherwise, if it is criteria is not meeting, right? So I'll just say this as a fail. Boom. As soon as I done, I'll just hit enter. Now what I'll do, I'll just simply control X and paste it over here. And I'll just drag it down. You can see the result, right? So the person who got a 23 in his or her exam, right? So they got a fail status. Likewise, if the people who are more than 50, they will get a pass status like this. Now, suppose there is a mechanism called grading system, and we are using a grading. Okay, in this example, I will say this is the total. Okay, I will say this as a total for me. This is the total. Perfect. So suppose we are what we have seen a basic if function right now, right? So I'm gonna cover over here is a nested if function. Okay, suppose randomly, just hypothetically, okay, I'll just say this is a C category from big grade from me, and this is the big grade. Okay, uh, and suppose if in case you need a grade as well, you can add that as well. That's not a challenge. Just randomly pull this value, copy. I'll just keep this as a transpose over here, and a sudo, something like that. Just a random name. Okay, we don't really care for that. Just a random name. Great. Okay, so I'll just increase that because it's again random numbers over here. That's what we have kept it. Oh, so this is the grading system, and I'll just type this as a grade. Oh, so we are good with this, and now what we have to do? We have to do a grading mechanism over here. Cool. So what I'll do, I'll just say is equal to if function. Okay. Again, nested if it is not that there is a different function altogether. So inside if only we are using a if function that is called nested if function. Okay. And this is very super useful function for the reports and you know while creating a dashboards. Okay, so that's what just carefully observe over here how I am performing this activity. Good. And I will say this particular value is equal to, and I'll say 250. This is what I have put, and comma, I will say this as a A grade. If again, I will just add as a if over here, and same likewise what we have did in the earlier, same we will do for this as well. We'll say N2, okay, greater than equal to will be my B grade, correct? Because we are yet to add a this particular C category, correct? So that's the reason I've just added this as a B grade, and I will say if again, let's say if same likewise what we have did for our earlier one and 2 to 30, and later on we will change that. Okay, sometimes we do this is a manual, but when we add as a criteria we will get a result then and there. So that's what I'm adding a criteria. So I will say this as a C category, correct? If these particular categories are not really meeting, okay, as per the result what we have, we will call this as a fail, that specific student, he or she. Bracket close, and I'll hit a enter. Okay, now you will see the difference over here. Okay, this is up to the mark. When we check this, because we have added this as a manually, okay, so you can see the difference, right? We are seeing this as a C category. However, as per the criteria, when we put this is a C category, which is 230. So always remember, your formula will really help you to automatize your daily resume activity and improve a quality score in your reporting approach. Okay, so that's the reason we use a powerful function called nested if and if function. Perfect. Now, since we have covered three functions, top leading functions, now it's time to check a conditional formatting, which makes it easy to highlight important data. Automatically color failed students in red. Ribbon tab, there is an option conditional formatting, and I'll say this as a new rule, and I will say format only that contains, and I'll click on this option. Specific text, I will say fail. Okay, if it is fail, then show me in a red color. Font color should be white, and hit OK. We have did for fail, you can do it for B and A as well. Okay, and this is what one of the element what we have seen in the conditional formatting with text that contains, right? Likewise, if in case you want to add a bullets over here, okay, you can just simply select this and click on this option, quick analysis. You can add a color scale as well. If in case you want to data bars, you can do that as well. Icon set, okay. If in case you want a greater than value, something, something, right? Suppose you want to only highlight a 40, which are greater than, those only will get highlighted. Okay. Suppose you just want to highlight a 90 number, okay, those only get highlighted because 90 is equal to, so that's the reason 90 is not getting tallied. Suppose if I do a 89, so it will get selected. That's the reason. That's the difference. Okay. So exact match value will not get selected. Greater than value will be selected. If I do a 80, okay, so this all will be selected and 80 will remain unchanged. Great. So this is how beautiful function in conditional formatting you can use it in your daily resume activity force. And this is how you can apply when you attend a interviews. Now let's move ahead and check a pivot table for summarizing large data. Okay. Suppose this is the data set for me, just for an example. Okay. I will just change this this, inserted a column over here, and I will say this as a region. Okay, so it's north, north, south, west, something like that. Just a random example over here. And sales representative. So I'll say sales rep. Okay, and department I don't really need it, so that's what I'll just do a control X and be over here. This will be a sales. Good. So this time I will just reduce 110 here, just creating a random data set. Okay, this will help us to understand how we are analyzing our data with the help of pivot table. So this is the random data set for me. Now, if in case I want to create a pivot table, I can simply click on this option, insert and pivot table. Okay, so let's do that. How we can insert that? In insert, I'll just simply click here and pivot table, and I'll simply click on this option, new worksheet. So I will get a two worksheet added over here. If in case you need a pivot table over here, you can simply click here and select a range and you can add that. Since we are learning this as a pivot table, how we can add that, that's the reason we are just clicking on this option, new worksheet, and okay. As soon as you click on new pivot table, you will get a option like this. Always remember, whatever values are available in your table or your Excel spreadsheet, those will be get into a value section. Cool. And then text would be here. And if in case I want to check this as a specific to region, then I will say this. Perfecto. If in case they ask you to visualize this, it's very simple to do that, folks. Simply click here, insert recommended chart, and you can click on this pie chart or maybe any other chart. Okay, and simply click on this option. As soon as you click on this chart element and data label, you will get a data labels added over here. You can simply click here, call out, and you will get a result like this. Good. It's a very easy to do. You just have to do a practice, okay, before you attending any interview. If in case you need any kind of support, okay, while you are attending any interviews in terms of functions for Excel, feel free to drop a comment in below section. I'm happy to address those and will help you out to provide a solution, folks. Now let's move ahead to check a data validation, how we can create a drop down list in Excel. Okay, so we must have heard this department, right? Suppose just for an example over here, okay, I don't want people to type a department manually. Instead, what I'll do, I'll just clear this first. Okay, focus is specific content only. Perfect. Now we have cleared that. Now what I want, I don't want people to manually type this. Instead, they have to select a drop down over here. So what I'll do, I'll just say IT, okay, finance, and HR. Suppose these are the departments for me. And what I'll do is select this, and in data ribbon tab, I will click on this option called data validation. Okay. As soon as I click on data validation, there is an option called list. You just select list, and from source, I'll just select this source. Or maybe I'll keep this two space extra, because if in case any addition will be there, I will just simply refresh that and we'll get a result there. Okay. Input message. Please select appropriate entry. Please choose. Okay. Don't type select instead. This is the message which I want to give for the individuals. Cool. So see what I'm getting a message. This is the pop-up, and this is the automated pop-up, folks. I'm not doing anything. When I click outside, this pop-up has been gone. When I click on this option, I'm getting this pop-up. Okay. Suppose I'm doing a manually, I'm just typing this and I'll hit a enter. I will get that pop-up which we have set it up, right? For the list. That's called data validation. And this validation, it's really help you to streamline your process, to streamline your templates and get a appropriate result from the individuals. Good. So since we have selected a list over here, I will select HR, okay, and finance, okay, and again IT. This is the HR, finance, something like that. So you can select anything basis your requirement, and if in case there is addition, right, I will say this time I will say admin, okay. If I check over here, this admin has been added automatically. Cool. This is one of the beautiful function in MS Excel available for you guys. Now it's time to check a absolute and relative references. Okay, fixing your formulas basically. For an example, I have this 10 and 5. Okay, and when I say is equal to this into this, and I'll hit enter, I will get a 50. Okay, and suppose if I add a 20 over here and 30 at the bottom, and when I scroll down this particular formula, I'm getting a 0. So the reason behind is our formula is not free. Okay. So when we check this, it's C11. Okay. And when I check this, it's a C12. The reference is taking from this particular C12, where your value is not available. Okay, it's not that you have to type this 5 here again and to do that. When you do in the larger spreadsheet, it's a time consuming. So that's the reason your absolute and relative reference comes into the picture. Okay, so for that, what you have to do, simply select this, and you can press from your keyboard F4 key. Okay, if in case you are using a Mac, then I think function key F4, or sometimes in your Microsoft keyboard or maybe laptop keyboards itself, there is an option called function and key. F4 key, you have to press it. For me as well, I'm using a function and F4, then I'm pressing this particular value. As soon as I done, I can simply add it. I can enter. Okay. And once it's done, you just drag it down. You can see the result. Cool. The range is there. I haven't made any kind of changes. I simply freeze that value. Okay. So value is freeze now. And this is the multiplier for me. Okay. Use of dollar to lock a cell reference. That's the basic ask from us. Good. Now, what is analysis? Predicting a outcome. Finding the missing input. Goal-seek helps when you know the desired result but don't know the input needed to reach it. I have an example for sales target calculation using a goal-seek. Good. So let me just cast that over here. Suppose this is the product price. I will say this is the 200, and suppose this is the unit sold. How many units sold I have to do? I don't know. So this is the XX for me. Okay, so total revenue I will get, if I get this particular value, then only I will get this formula. Okay, which is I'll do a simply do a into, and I'll get a total revenue. And this is the target revenue basically. Okay, so target revenue is that this is 50,000. Okay, so 50,000 I know, the formula I know what I'm gonna do over here. I'll just say this into this, but I really don't know what is the unit sold. Cool. To calculate that, what I have to do, I have to use a goal seek option, goal seek total revenue formula. I just simply select that, and in data ribbon tab, what is analysis, there is an option called goal seek. Okay. So in set cell, this is the total revenue cell, which is where already we have selected that value. So we want a targeted value, which is your 50,000. So we want this to be reached. Correct. By changing cell, units to be sold. So what we have to do, this is the unit we have to sold. So that's what we have selected there. As soon as I hit OK, you can see the result what I have received on the screen. Good. So we have to at least sell this many units, okay, to reach at least our target. So this is how the beautiful function which financial budgeting and forecasting we usually use goal seek option. Okay. Now, since we have covered almost 8 functions in MS Excel, it's time to check a text to column option. Okay, which is your ninth option. Minus your something like Shaha, and then I will say parrot, dash, tiger, normal. This is just a normal naming convention I have. Okay. And I want to split this specific text. Okay. Using a text to column called data ribbon. In data ribbon itself, text to column. When we click on this option, simply click this delimited and next option. And here we will add a this particular sentence dash. Okay. And I'll hit a next and I'll finish that. You can see we have separated this first name and last name in the Excel with the help of text to column. Okay. Majority times we have seen that we have to remove a duplicates as well. Sometimes what happens, okay, suppose there is a duplicate entries available, okay, like this. Simply select this and then click on this option, remove duplicates, and there is an option you will get. You have a page headers if in case you have selected like this. Suppose if I select this and when I click on this option, it will ask me, do you have a page headers? Okay, so I will say this, yes, this is the page headers for me. This is the headers. So this will select entire data and then I'll hit values are available which are in duplicates, those will get removed automatically. And these are the top 10 functions what we have covered in the Excel tutorial. Okay, just covered some of the most powerful Excel functions that can help you to ace your interviews and boost your productivity. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you will never miss an update. Also, drop a comment below and let me know which function you found the most useful, or if you have any questions, I would love to help. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.